Hello, this is a quick video to show off a 2-digit counter which I've made. A couple of people wanted to see it, so I thought I'd upload it. That's a display there in front of you, and it has units and tens, and it's activated by this switch. The units are controlled by a cyclic circuit over there, and the tens are controlled by this counter over here. I'll show you a little bit of how it works. So, okay, we'll start with the display. It's not a perfect display, it's a work in progress. Going to make it better, probably with some lamps or something like that. But in the meanwhile, the numbers are shown by glowstone, and they're activated by sticky pistons here, which are controlled by these coloured tracks here. Depending on which lines of glowstone you want to activate, is controlled by these bridges here. Now you've got the number one there. For number one we would need a purple and a pink, so that's the ones which I've pointed these white bridges to. Same goes for number two. Number two requires five inputs to the glowstone to show number two. Same again for number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 0. Like I say, the circuit is cyclic, and it comes in over here, enters a pulse extender which increases the length of time that the pulse is active for, and therefore that you're seeing the number for, so that it doesn't immediately just flick on and immediately flick straight off again without you seeing it properly. To ensure that the second number isn't activated before the first number has ended, we have to put in delays, and these are the delays here. You've got pulse extenders and then delays, and they basically wiggle backwards and forwards along a track there and go around in a circle and come back to the beginning again. So it will go from 1 to 0 and then back to 1 again. When the signal gets to 9, we split the signal off here, goes underground, comes out over here, and then goes off towards the tens. This is using an exploit with tripwires, which people are calling instant wire. Basically the piston activates the tripwire, which then activates the tripwire hook at the other end, which activates the redstone, and you can string these things together 40 blocks at a time to make quick ways of getting power around a circuit. This then comes down to here, powers this redstone and goes into this counter. Now this counter controls the tens digit. Every time it receives a signal, it activates one of these tracks. The first track, number 1, second, number 2, etc., etc., all the way up to 6. I've got these this set to at the moment. The best thing about this particular counter is this set of blocks here. This toggles the previous input, also the previous output, off. So if you were on number 1, you've got a second input, it would then switch on that the number 2 whilst switching off the number 1, so that it wouldn't muck up the display for the tens. This is particularly useful. I only found one video online with toggleable counters. All the previous counters just continued to switch on additional outputs every time it received a signal. This one was particularly good, and allows you to control the tens. It's got a reset in it, which will turn it off once it gets a 7th signal, and will reset it back to 0, and then off you go again. I'll press start now, and then you can see it in action. And yeah, there you go, a 2-digit display. There's a couple of days work, basically because I'm crap at redstone, so yeah, please don't think of this as any form of tutorial or any proper way of doing things with redstone, because it certainly isn't. But it's very simplified, and at the moment it's just a work in progress. Fingers crossed we'll get it to, I'll get it to a point where I can have seconds, minutes and hours, and have a proper clock. And I was hoping to link it in with sort of daylight detectors, which will then allow you to have a day, or link it to day and night, so that you can tell what time it is in Minecraft. But that's something for the future, I think. I hope you enjoyed. That's mainly a video for Alan. Enjoy, Alan.